this video, we break down the potential for severe weather in your area as severe weather season starts to wind down. Also, go look at your hurricane forecast, see if anything interesting is happening in the Gulf, Atlantic, and Pacific. Also, go look at your 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook as well as your drought monitor. I'll go look at your near and long term forecast as well as your info forecast for Sunday and Monday. All that coming up in this video. Williams Weather. Hope y'all enjoying your weekend this weekend. Looks like the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has issued a marginal risk for today for damaging winds, which is a 5% chance, and large hail. Donkey Kong size could be possible today. Low end, but still possible. Looks like the marginal risk is going to affect states of western Tennessee, far southwestern Kentucky, northwest Mississippi, northeast to central Kansas, and southeast parts of Missouri. So if you have anything loose out there, or if you have your cars outside, please get everything strapped down and put your cars up if you don't want hail dents or anything blowing around their yard out there that's going to tick your neighbor off, like Speedos or beer cans or anything of that nature. But anyways, your day 2 severe weather risk looks like there's another marginal risk issued, spanning all the way from Massachusetts all the way down to eastern Tennessee and North Carolina in the green here. Now your main risks tomorrow on Sunday will be mainly a wind and a hail threat with a 2% chance for tornadoes up here in the northeastern states. Connecticut, Rhode Island, southern Massachusetts, a little sliver here of New York, and New Jersey here. Far eastern Pennsylvania too. Now your day 3 risk, really just a thunderstorm risk for the northeast states, Michigan, Florida, and the desert states, and in southwest Texas. Now your 4 to 8 day outlook, not much happening as far as that goes. But we will break down the time frames when we get to the near term forecast. So let's go ahead and take a look at your tropical storm outlook, see if anything interesting is happening. Developments here in the Atlantic and in the Pacific and the Gulf. Starting off with old post-tropical cyclone Fiona. It was a hurricane earlier in the week as it churned north in the Atlantic and collided with Nova Scotia, also known as Shrek, though Fiona must have got her satisfaction from punching Shrek in the face. Now it's going off into the sunset. I'm sure the taping of Oak Island, that's over here as well. I'm sure that got postponed. So the Bobby Dazzler will not be found for much longer. So that sucks. That's funny though. One more must die, and then they died on the show. Isn't the treasure supposed to be found once one more must die? You know, they already died, right? But, I mean, then they go and look at a piece of wood, and, this wood must be important. It's very, very old. I hope they find the treasure, but I doubt it. So, anyway, we have a couple more tropical storms out here in the Atlantic, and one that could form. It's a low chance, 10% in the next 2 days, 30% in the next 5 days. We have Tropical Storm Gaston and Tropical Storm Hermine, which are both going to die off by midweek. But we do have something very, 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 very interesting out here in the Gulf and the Caribbean. Tropical Storm Ian, which will make landfall in America. It will collide with either Florida or the coast of Alabama, Mississippi, those states. It will be a major hurricane that will turn into possibly a Category 3 or stronger. I mean, if this turns more north or northwest and gets into the warm waters in the Gulf, then it will possibly become a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. So please have your hurricane preparedness plan in place, as this will make landfall by middle to late next week, Wednesday night into Thursday possibly. It's not to terrify anybody, but this will have major impacts as it makes landfall. Now we have another one out here in the Pacific, not going to affect anybody as well. Tropical Storm Fig Newton. Hurricane season starting to pack its punch. Be prepared. Don't be scared. Don't be terrified. We will look at this. We'll look at the GFS model as it churns north. Let's take a look at this here by Tuesday. Zoom in here.
Just look at that. Just look at it.
Oh, a major eye wall by Tuesday as it becomes a Category 2. I'm thinking once it gets past Cuba, it's going to strengthen. If it churns north into that water, that's about 80, 90 degree water. Really, really hot water. It's going to build energy, and it's going to really wreak havoc. This could be a strong hurricane. It's going to make headlines. Not to sound dramatic or anything, not to overhype it, but it's the reality of it. Anything can change. You know, weather this is not fear-based weather. We don't do fear-based weather here on Williams Weather. We never overhype anything on Williams Weather. That's a guarantee. Now, we do get it wrong sometimes, but that's what the people do. We get stuff wrong. But Come Wednesday night into Thursday, it's going to make landfall. The GFS is saying it's going to make landfall by Wednesday night over here on the Florida Panhandle and in the Gulf Shores area. There's going to be lots of flooding happening with excessive rainfall. There'll be a lot of rain. There'll be probably moderate to high risk issued for excessive rainfall. Please have those evacuation plans in place, as this will get ugly. But we'll break down the near-term forecast here after a bit. Right now, we're going to look at the Drought Monitor. All right, we'll turn to the drought here in the United States. Looks like exceptional drought to moderate drought from the plains out west, and abnormally dry conditions for the eastern part of the United States with hardly no drought at all for where my hand arrow is at. All right, let's go take a look at your excessive rainfall outlooks. Starting off today, Saturday. Looks like there is a marginal risk for excessive rainfall for the desert southwest states, southeast Arizona, and southwest New Mexico. Day 2, there's nothing. Day 3, also nothing. There is something down here. That's due to Tropical Storm Ian, which will turn into a major hurricane by mid to late week this week. And we'll look at your 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook as we head into October. Crazy, we're already almost into October. We're already almost in the 8th month of 2022. It looks like in September and ahead October, looks like it will be below average for the eastern and northeastern part of the country. Except for Florida. Southern Florida is going to be above normal. But from the plains out west, looks like it's going to be above normal. So y'all going to be dealing with some warmer temperatures. Next 8 to 14 days, looks like it's going to be above normal for just about everybody. Now your 6 to 10 days precipitation outlook looks way below normal. From Michigan all the way down to Texas. And above normal for Florida all the way up into Virginia and Maryland. Including the desert southwest states of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, and Nevada. Your 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook looks just about the same. So we'll look at your NFL forecast. The Chiefs at the Colts. Looks like it's going to be dry. Start of the game, sunny. Now it's a closed roof stadium, but if you come and go, it's going to be dry out. Now, as far as your temperatures go, it's going to be pretty decent out, relatively warm. Now we're going to go the Texans at the Bears. Another 1 o'clock kickoff. Going to be kind of cool out. Got a crisp in the air, and it's going to warm up by the time you leave. Let's look at your precipitation forecast for it. So kickoff, it's going to be sunny. Then it's going to be pretty dreary out. Looks like it's going to be cloudy, possible rain showers. By the time you leave, it's still going to be cloudy out and dreary. Saints at the Panthers here. It looks like it's going to be pretty cloudy for kickoff. Then it's going to remain cloudy. Like a lot of these games to start off the day, you're going to be pretty dreary until time you leave. Time you leave, it's going to be pretty sunny out. As far as temperatures go, starting off at kickoff, it's going to be pretty warm, getting hotter as the day goes on. Now the next game, Bills at Dolphins. That's going to be a good one. Starting at 1 o'clock kickoff, it's going to be dreary out, it's going to be cloudy, and then we're going to have rain showers by the time you get to leave. So bring an umbrella for this game. The temperatures down there in Florida going to be on the hot side. It's going to be hot and wet. Here we got the Lions at the Vikings, a 1 o'clock kickoff game as well. Start off, going to be cool. Start off the game and get warmer as the day goes on. And as far as the precip goes, it's going to be pretty dry all game. Although it's going to be at the dome, but I mean, if you come and go, it's going to be dry out. Now we got the Ravens at the Patriots. Up there in New England. Up there in Foxborough. My good old Steelers lost to them. They're not going to have a good season, but oh well. It is what it is. Got a kickoff for that game between the Ravens at the Patriots. It's going to be pretty cloudy. Looks like the majority of these games are going to be pretty dreary out. Typical fall. But by the time you get to leave that game, it's going to be pretty dry out. Now, the temperatures for that game, being it's in the Northeast, it's probably going to be pretty cool, and it is cool out. Time you get to leave. And we got the Bungles at the Jets at MetLife. Now, the temperatures to kick off 1 o'clock. It's going to be pretty warm, relatively hot. I think it's going to be hot by the time y'all leave that game. As far as precip goes, it's going to be pretty dry majority of the game till you get to leave, and it's going to be probably pretty wet for y'all. Alright, the next game we got the Raiders at the Titans in Tennessee. Pretty dry to kick off the game. And it's going to be pretty much dry all game for y'all. Be a good game between the Raiders and the Titans. As far as temperatures go, it'll be hot for everybody down there. Back sunscreen. Any way to get shade. And then we have the Eagles, Washington. Alright, start off the game at 1 o'clock here in Washington. It'll be relatively warm out with the temperatures increasing throughout the game. And we believe it's going to be pretty hot out. As far as precip goes, it's going to be cloudy all game. So pretty much all the 1 o'clock games, minus a couple 2 to 3 of them are going to be pretty cloudy to rainy. Now we move on to the 4 o'clock kickoff games. The the Jaguars at the Chargers. Now let's see if this is going to be a cloudy and dreary game. Doubt it being California, but you never know. All right, looks like it's going to be pretty sunny. Start off the game. It's going to be pretty much sunny all game until you get to leave. Your temperatures here. 4 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be a nice game to go to. Now I know it's a stadium, covered stadium, but still. You come and go, it's going to be pretty nice for y'all. Now we got the Rams at the Cardinals. Oh, Arizona. It's the last place the Steelers won the Super Bowl at. It was in Arizona. Super Bowl 43. It's 4 o'clock kickoff. Temperature's going to be hot in the hundreds. Oof, that's a scorcher for y'all down there. But it's inside, so y'all are all going to be alright. Unless you leave, and that's going to suck for y'all. But now, as far as precip goes, pretty dry to start the game. Pretty much dry all game. The Desert Southwest. Now we got the Rams at the Seahawks. Alright, at CenturyLink for another 4 o'clock kickoff game here. We have the Seahawks facing the Falcons in Seattle here. 4 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be dry. Be dry all game. Looks like all the 4 o'clock games going to be pretty good. Temperature wise, we are going to be cool. Fun in the sun, soaking in the rays. Oh yeah. Then we got the Packers at the Buccaneers. Brady versus Rodgers. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be the game of the day, I think. Brady and Rodgers. Your temperatures for that game, going to be a hot one. Brady's going to be sweating. This took us off. Last game, he almost got into it like one of those old guys. I get off my lawn. I'm Tom Brady, and I won 7 Super Bowls. You see me. I'm the GOAT. Minus some Deflategate, Spygate, Cheatinggate. And now I'm having Giselle Gate. Well, get off my lawn. But anyways, for the first precept goes for the game. It'll be pretty dry. Now we go to the night game. It's a Sunday night football game between the 49ers and the Denver Broncos. What's the Broncos have? Russell Wilson up there mile high. Alright, Sunday night football. Everybody likes Sunday night football. Unless you have to go back to work, and that sucks. Clock, it's going to be dry out. We dry all game. Now, as far as temperatures go, pretty cool game. It's going to be kind of cold, really. It's going to be kind of cold out. Alright, Monday night. We got the Dallas We Dem Cowboys at the New York Giants. It's going to be at MetLife. Alright, Monday night. It's going to be pretty cool. And by the time the game gets done, it's going to be really cold out. And as far as precip goes, 8 o'clock, dry. 11 o'clock, dry as well. Alright, let's go break down your near-term forecast. And tell me, before I start the near-term forecast, who you're rooting for in the comments below. Give this video a like as well. My team already lost to the Cleveland Brownies. Still kind of sucked this year, but it is what it is. Near-term forecast, here we come. The severe weather threat today. Start off at 6 p.m. Cluster of storms developing at this time in Arkansas. Over here, where arrow's at, just southwest of this major supercell. It's going to dump hail and damaging winds possibly. Even more clusters southwest of that. Now remember, this is just a hail and damaging wind threat, like I said. So make sure you have everything tied down and your car put in your garage. And especially those beer cans, if you have those out, make sure you go throw them away before your neighbor Gladys yells at you for beer cans being in her ditch or something. She's going to go off. I thought I told you to put your stuff up when we have damaging winds, darn it. I like to keep my ditches in order around here. Remember when it used to be an HOA? Man, these ditches look so nice before all these whippersnappers did away with it. Man, they used to look really good. This neighbor, my other neighbor over here, she's a hussy. She's really a hooker. And so her pantyhose are stuck in my ditch. Now you have your beer cans in my ditch. I'm not too happy about that. I like to shove this cane up somewhere, but I moved on. I'm going back home over here where I came from. You make sure everything's tied down. But anyways, at 6 p.m. here, it's around 7 p.m. Got some more supercells firing. So it's going to go from 6 to 10 p.m. tonight. And it's going to push east throughout the night. So may have some thunder boomers in Tennessee, Missouri, and those areas surrounding it overnight tonight. Now we push off into day 2. Another marginal risk issued. Possibly a slight risk might be issued tomorrow due to the 2% tornadic risk being issued for eastern Ohio into Rhode Island. Now the timing for that will be from 4 p.m. tomorrow all the way through 8 o'clock and possibly the overnight hours. And see a squall line. It's going to be forming out here in eastern Ohio. It could rotate because these are supercellular in nature. And I'm sure Reed and Vince may be out there chasing these. I don't know. Because of the hurricane down in Florida, they may travel down there. But please be weather aware tomorrow. Please stay on high alert. Severe weather season's still sticking around. I don't think it's going to stick around much longer as we head into October. But we'll look at that when we look at the long range here after a bit. You see more renegades. I would be surprised if some tornadoes form. Tornado warnings are issued. So please know where to go when severe weather strikes. Tornado warnings issued. Make sure you got the helmet on. Anything cover your head. Get in the basement, your shelter, anything that tornado hits and you're in the shelter and it takes your house. You want shoes on. You want something to protect you from debris, and especially with the aftermath of the storm, you want your feet protected. You don't want any splinters or glass in your feet. That's why the weather people say that have a helmet or something covering your head, because if something hits, some debris flies down after your wrist blown off, you don't want that hurting you. But we'll look at your long range forecast here, as there is no severe weather threat for day 3 on Monday. Long range forecast here. And at the jet stream, looks like we have a trough forming right around when the hurricane's going to come up. And there's the hurricane down there, about the 28th. Now the GFS has this heading more north instead of northeast, so I think the jet stream's going to play a factor in where this hurricane goes. I think if there's a major ridge, it'll push north. Now if this is further towards the southwest, I think it's going to push more towards Florida, which best case scenario, if there is one, it's going to push more towards Florida than it is heading north, because there's less hot water to play with. So there is a lot of hot water out there to play with to fuel this hurricane. Now if it hits mainland Florida, it'll weaken, of course. But we'll look at the GFS here, and I'll update y'all on Williams weather. Might get further updates about this hurricane, because this is a major hurricane, a major event that's going to happen. Now push it to the future here. Looks like Hurricane Ian's going to be making landfall in a tropical cyclone, and then it's going to be over open land here. We're going to have a storm that's going to be affecting much of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Plains, because there's a major trough right here around the 2nd, and we're in La La Land here. Looks like there's going to be a major storm system affecting the Northeast by the 9th. Let's look at your height anomalies here. Let's see, trough, ridge, warm, cold. That's why I was saying the next 6 to 10 days it's going to be kind of cool out east and warm out west. Cool again for the Midwest, Ohio Valley. And you see that hurricane's definitely played a role here. Or at least something's right here. We'll look at the simulated radar, see what it could look like. You got some rain out in the east, dry out west. And you got that hurricane coming up. It's land right there, comes inland. Weakens into thunderstorms affecting the Ohio Valley. So Ohio Valley is going to be getting some remnants from post-tropical cyclone Ian, as it will be called when it hits land. And it looks like we have some storm systems. We have some heavy rain in the plains. Well-needed rain in Texas and Oklahoma by the beginning of October. Now let's go look at your temperatures. To start off here, 50s. Got a heat wave out west in the south in September. But are we going to cool off? Yeah, looks like it's going to cool off beginning of October. 70s. Really cold up there in Minnesota. Looks like a burr. 50s and 70s. Really getting kind of chilly around the 10th of the month for the eastern states. Really cold up there in the mountains. Colorado, where they already got some snowfall up there in Wyoming and Colorado mountains. That'll just about do it in this video. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Please comment below. And please consider subscribing. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Never stop forecasting.